This is Ben, Liam and Belle on Nova.
Well, g'day there, podcaster.
This episode's called Lay Off the Bean, Claire. You'll find out why a little bit later on in it, but
She's absolutely abusing the bean.
100%. There's a few spicy stories in this one. People who narrowly avoided terrorist attacks. I liked this as a forbidden folder. There was a little blunder I made at some point in it.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up.
Right.
I'm sure I'll cop a serving the off-air podcast, which is another.
You're not going to be the only one
podcast.
that cops a serve in the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've actually got a red hot serve ready for someone today. So if you've never listened to that before, it's like all the off-air chat behind the
It's
scenes.
basically just us yelling at each other.
Yeah, getting up each other for different things. There should be a good episode in the little feed, so make sure you check that one out. But right now, enjoy our regular show podcast. We're getting married at the end of the year. A lot of jobs involved with that. Ben, you've been through all of this. You're already married to your wife, Sam. Belle, you'll go through all of this one day as well.
Oh, thanks. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Don't be too desperate. Otherwise,
It's a bit stinky in here. And it's Belle's desperation.
yeah, it smells of a desperado. But look, we're currently going through numbers for the big day. And last night I said to my fiancée, Sarah, I think we're good here. I think we're ready to...
Numbers as in how many people are coming to the wedding?
Yeah, numbers. Yeah. So you got to sort of work all of that out. And I said, I think we're ready to send out the invitations. And she said, save the dates. And I was like, what? And she said, save the dates. Supposedly, what we're doing is sending people a little piece of paper to say, save the date. And then a month later, we follow that up with an official invitation.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we should probably cut out the middleman here because, they know they're getting invited. We know they're getting invited. You should probably just put the time and location on the bottom, and we've probably saved ourselves a few hundred there. When did the wedding industry get such a hold of us that they've convinced us that save the dates are a thing?
So true.
I've got 2 save the date wedding invitations on my fridge at the moment. I've got 2, and they're not invites, just the date.
Just save the date. I mean, I know where it is.
The
I know
only
what time it's going to start.
The only time I can see you justifying a save the date is if you're sending it 2 years before the wedding, and my wedding's super far away.
But this is just like...
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you were 2 years away, I can understand the save the date.
Only a few months. It's December. It's the end of the year,
Where does the save the date line come in? Like, how far ahead can you save a date?
Well,
if
I think you can save
I want
the
to
date.
save the date for my 40th in 12 years.
You could do that.
Could I do that?
Yeah, I suppose you could. All I said is, it's not happening. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I lost the argument, so I have my save the dates here. That's one for you, Ben. That's for you, Belle. That's just a precursor for the real thing, okay? No,
Thank you very
you're
much.
not invited yet. You just have to save the date. I'll invite you in a month, just to try and keep the mystery, okay?
It's 6:10. Hallelujah, it's 6:10.
Yep, the 610 quiz, very simple. We got 5 questions. You get them all right, you get to choose the next song we play. It's also the easiest way to get in the draw because normally people get the questions wrong and we end up burning through the callers. So 13 24 10, give us a buzz.
And good morning to Marie in Langwarrin. What are you up to this morning?
Hi, I've just called up at work, actually. I'm just sitting in the car.
Oh, righty-o.
We won't make you too late then. I don't want to hold you up.
Yeah, well, let's burn through these questions.
I actually don't start till 7. I'm one of these early people.
Hang on.
So why do you get to work 50 minutes early, Marie?
So I can listen to you.
Oh, get
Stop
out.
it.
That's sweet. We better not tell Marie about the podcast. You can really get it all wedged in on your way home. Okay. First question. Macca's are introducing potato cakes. They're out today. What are potato cakes called in any other state?
Oh, my gosh. Potato cake.
Firstly, do you know what a potato cake is, Marie?
Yes, I do, but I only know it as a potato cake anywhere in Australia.
So if you're in another state, potentially what could mushed potato in that shape be called, do you think?
Oh,
Like potato
hash
what?
brown?
No, not a hash brown.
I would argue it's the same thing,
not
right?
the
Like a
same
hash
thing.
brown. It's just like a potato smush. Nah,
Marie.
yeah. Unfortunately, Marie, we've got to move on to Maddie and Lang Lang. Do you know what a potato cake is known in other states?
Potato scallop?
Yep. Or we also would have accepted potato fritter.
Yep.
Australian Open bosses have warned crowds they'll be kicked out of venues if they heckle Novak Djokovic. What continent is Serbia in?
Europe.
Europe is correct. Doing pretty good. On to question 3.
Prince Harry has been slammed as selfish and ungrateful by none other than Judge Judy. Do you know Judge Judy's surname?
Judy?
You think her name?
I had a feeling you'd say.
Her name's not Judy. No,
Her first name's Judge.
No, her first name's Judy.
This is an interesting one because off air when we write the questions, this one was a little bit contentious because Liam and I believed that this was an easy question. Belle, you thought this was a hard question.
I flagged this question from the get-go. No one's going to know Judy's last name.
in the
Savannah.
intro of the show.
Savannah, you'd know Judge Judy's last name, right?
No, I don't know Judge Judy's last name.
Oh, the intro.
Bit of a worry. 13, 24, 10. Give us a buzz.
Lena, do you know Judge Judy's last name?
Oh, God, no.
Judge Judith something. Shine. Sheindlin. Judge Judith Sheindlin. Sheindlin. Can you finish it for us, Judge Judith
Sheindlin. We're basically saying it.
It's Judge Judith Sheindlin.
All right. Sorry,
The
Lena.
answer. We're just going to move to Marie. We'll move past that question. Belle was right. We were wrong.
Just listen to me when I say, hey, guys, I don't think this question is going to work.
In the show, I haven't got the intro on me, but in the show it goes,
Judge Judith Sheindlin.
the people are real. The cases
one
are real.
watches it
It's
and-
Judge Judith Sheindlin.
How many times did you watch that show?
A lot.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of sick days from school. Marie joins us now. Paul McCartney was almost hit by a car on Abbey Road. What band is he from?
The Beatles.
Of course. A planned collab between Beyonce and Britney Spears has fallen through, unfortunately. Can you finish these classic B lyrics?
No, sorry.
Oh, all right. Courtney, can you finish the lyrics for, you know?
And my body too bootylicious boy, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
Right out of the gates. I mean, we normally like to play the song again, but well done, Courtney.
You are here with Ben, Liam, and Belle.
Yeah, we did say give us a buzz, 13 24 10. If you would like tickets to Sam Smith's show, Rod Laver Arena, Tuesday, October 31st, you can get your tickets Wednesday, Jan 18. For details, head to frontiertouring.com.
Yep, here at Nova, we have got the first tickets to give away. And look, we were talking about this yesterday off air, and we're saying, oh, look, pretty cool, Sam Smith tickets. How are we going to give these away? And Liam, you kind of jumped in and said, leave it to me.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the rest.
I'm kind of like the ideas guy on the team, especially when it comes to giving away tickets. And that's why we're doing this.
Ben, Liam, and Belle have the hottest tickets in town. With a mouthful of eggs, you won tickets to Egg Sheeran. With a gob full of butter chicken. You got the chance to see Curry Styles. And now, the biggest artist on the planet. Peel the tin. Expose the meat. Call us right now on 13 24 10 to win your tickets to Spam Smith.
Ah, yes. Shannon, good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good, excited.
Yes, well, I bet you are. They're one of the greatest acts on the planet. And I don't know if you understand the concept yet, but what I'm about to do is fill my mouth full of spam, and I'm going to sing a Sam Smith song. If you can pick which one it is, you will win the double pass.
Okay, thank you. I'm ready.
Just before we get the performance from Liam, Shannon, I need to explain how bad the spam smells.
I haven't really spoken much yet because
I think Belle's going to vomit.
it's so,
I must
like,
admit.
this studio smells so bad right now. I don't eat meat. And
Yeah.
this, if you ever need a reason not to eat meat, if you
Yeah.
look at... So what's happened is, you know how it comes in the tin, the can?
Yeah.
So Liam has, like, pushed the whole thing out in one lump and then put it on a plate and microwaved it.
Sweating.
But it's, like, probably, like, a minute microwave, so it's like it's just warm.
It's still congealed. Like it's got
Yeah.
the fat,
Some
it's
of
got,
it,
it's got a layer of
it
fat
looks
around
like
it.
what it looks like on the plate is a brain, and
Yeah.
the brain is a little bit burnt.
Yeah.
To be fair, Shannon, in the past when I came up with the other games, like egg shearing, we actually opted for Easter eggs, and that was like quite yummy. I just had a mouthful of chocolate. I'm a big fan of butter chicken, obviously, so curry styles was a breeze. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of Spam, the tinned meat. However, it does rhyme pretty well, so we had to go that, unfortunately. So
Oh,
I'm sorry, I do have a bit
just
of a weak
put me off
stomach
my
myself.
coffee.
So what's going to happen is if you just joined us, Liam's going to take a mouthful of Spam. He's going to sing a Sam Smith song. If Shannon can tell us the name of the song,
Liam's already. Sorry, Shannon. Liam hasn't even started eating or doing anything, but he's already.
his eyes are watering. You're crying.
Sorry, Shannon, I'll just put my
Also,
fork-
you should know Liam is a big vomiter. Like he vomits it
Oh,
a
Sorry,
lot.
Shannon, I just
but
put my
hopefully
fork
we
through it,
just
and the
won't.
consistency sort of rubbery on the outer and very soft on the inner.
If Shannon cannot get the name of the song correct, we do move on to the next caller.
okay. Okay,
right,
I'm
Liam.
ready.
Come on, Liam.
It's not even in your mouth and you're already vomiting.
I'm not sure I'll be able to do it. Okay, sorry. All right. The quicker you get it, the quicker I can spit it out.
You've got to sing the lyrics.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, Shannon.
Ready.
Putting Spam into the mouth. Oh, God.
You can't do it. You can't do the bit.
Just give her the tickets.
Shannon, we're going to give you the tickets anyway.
It was gonna be. I'm not the only one. But Liam couldn't stomach the
Just
Spam.
vomited straight away.
Sam, thank you so much.
That's okay, Shannon. You enjoy. They're incredible live.
Yeah, have fun at Spam Smith. Enjoy yourself.
So much.
It's okay,
No worries, Shannon. You have a great time at the show.
Thank you.
See ya.
I'm sure we'll have the video. The video will be online later,
Yeah,
so you can see.
I'm a little bit worried that we have another 10 double passes to give away. Ben has a key around his neck. I have a similar key. Myself, Liam. Belle also has a key now, and occasionally we turn them all at the same time
3, 2, 1.
and open up the forbidden folder. These ideas are kept under lock and key. It's stuff that the boss has said no to in the past because it's probably not appropriate. It's not really breakfast radio chat, but sometimes that's where the best stuff is.
I'm excited for today's because just looking ahead a little bit at what the topic is, sometimes they can be of a sexual nature.
Or like a funny sort of...
Yeah, but this time round, it's not serious, but it's more...
It's pretty serious.
pretty serious. It's an area you don't often go into, and for
No.
good reason, but I'm excited to do it this morning.
How close were you to a disaster? 13, 24, 10. Now, that could be a natural disaster, could be a terrorist attack. I think we thought of this one after something that happened on your travels, Ben.
Yeah, so I missed being involved in a terrorist attack late last year because I was in Istanbul in November for my honeymoon with my wife Sam. And we did all the touristy things that you do in Istanbul, which involved going shopping on the main shopping strip, kind of like Burke Street. And then it ends at this place called, I think it's pronounced Taksim Square, which is kind of like Federation Square. And a bomb went off there, very sadly, killed 6 people and injured 80. The wild thing is, it went off 24 hours after we were in the exact spot that it went off.
That is wild.
The exact spot, because there's a fountain and there's a bench, and I remember we were right next to that because we were looking for a certain shop, and I have the vivid memory of standing next to that bench, and that was where it happened, literally 24 hours after I was there.
You hear a
Pretty
lot
crazy.
of those stories as well, don't you? Like all those celebrities that were supposedly having a meeting in
Yeah.
the World Trade the day, and then they were sick and whatever, they didn't make it. My family is sort of Irish. I've got Irish roots, and my uncle lives in the UK, and he caught a particular bus to work every single day to work, and one day he was sick. That particular day was back in 2005 when the London bombings happened, and his bus blew up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how close. Like, he was just had a sick day and he missed it.
And that sick day saved his life. My older brother was overseas. Well, what are we talking now? 2014. MH370 happened, and he said to us, "I was actually going to book that flight." He was going
specific
to book
flight.
Yes, because it was just the right time, right flight, and he said, "Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to do this flight." And came
Jeez.
very, very close.
I feel like everyone's got a little bit of a near miss. How close were you to a disaster? If you feel comfortable calling, 13 24 10 is the number. That is the topic in the Forbidden Folder this morning. We've opened up the Forbidden Folder.
We're asking 13 24 10, how close were you to a disaster? And we're talking about being in the proximity, or maybe just the time frame of a natural disaster, or maybe a terrorist attack.
I was saying before, I was like, celebrities that missed out on, the World Trade, like they were supposed to be there that day. Thorpe was apparently had a meeting there that day.
Really?
And then he was late and he didn't make it. And then, thank God, because, our nation's finest swimmer could have been in a terrorist attack.
Karen joins us now in Dalesford. Good morning. How close were you to a disaster?
We were travelling on a cruise boat and to New Zealand, and one of our ports was Christchurch. So we spent the day in Christchurch, and we actually even did a tour around where an old guy took us around, showed us all the problems that it had from the previous earthquake.
Yeah.
Got back on the boat, and pretty much that was the big one that hit Christchurch.
So
Everywhere we had visited wasn't there anymore, particularly the church we were in there. And when we seen it, we thought, my God, we were only very close.
How soon after you boarded the ship did the earthquake happen?
I think it was about 5 or 6 hours we heard on the boat that it had hit. And when you see all the footage of all the places you've been around, it's a bit scary.
That's
scary. We're talking
hours.
Day. That's
hours.
Incredible.
Yeah, Megan joins us now from Melton. How close were you to the disaster?
So in 2012, I was in Thailand when they were evacuated for a tsunami warning, and still to this day, I can still hear the siren if I go to McDonald's or something like that. The drive-through siren just brings back memories.
Yeah.
That.
Okay,
Well, don't do it to her.
Well, no, I don't.
Oh, this one is just the triggering one, is it, Megan?
No, I'm just trying to say the sound that you get at
No,
Macca's.
we get.
I'm so triggered by that sound. Oh, this one.
Megan, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right.
She doesn't sound all right. Gee, Liam.
I was trying to do, just
Mate,
in case.
this can be a sensitive topic for some people,
Okay.
Like people that are triggered from things.
I'm sorry,
Jackie,
Megan. Sorry,
Jackie
Megan.
in Blackburn. How close were you to the disaster?
Yeah, so 6-7 years ago, I was in France and the Europe World Cup was on, and we were getting the train from Marseille to Paris.
Yeah.
Lunchtime, after lunch. And so we spent the morning just walking around Marseille. And I really wanted to go to the Hard Rock Cafe because when I travel, I like to get a little souvenir. And we're walking around, and I just said to my friends, I said, look, I'm not feeling comfortable. I don't know what it was. There was no indication. I said, look, I need to get out of here. And so we went to the train station, got on the train, got to Paris, and then when we got there, I had all these missed calls.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't have internet. And it turns out that there was riots in Marseille, and it all started. There was I can't remember the countries. I think it was Russia and Scotland. Their supporters, rioted right where the Hard Rock Cafe was that morning. So we literally missed them by, half an hour.
Wow, just because of your gut feeling.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, Jackie, thank you very much for sharing your story. At the moment, we are asking how close were you to a disaster? And we've got a caller who's going to be joining us next who was meant to be in the nightclub on the night of the Bali bombings.
Oh, jeez. And when you're listening to Ben, Liam and Belle, from time to time, we'll open up the Forbidden Folder. It's where we keep all the taboo topics, the stuff that the boss might have said no to in the past. This morning, the topic is, how close were you to a disaster? Ben narrowly missed a terrorist attack in Istanbul over the holidays.
We've already had some harrowing stories this morning. Going to pop them up in the Ben, Liam and Belle podcast straight after the show. But going to take some more calls right now live for you. Belle joins us in Windsor. Good morning. How close were you to a disaster?
Good morning, guys. So I went to
essentially after finishing year 12, I went to Europe with a friend just to kind of celebrate finishing school. And we were actually at the night market in Berlin 5 minutes before that terrorist attack happened.
5 minutes? Are you for real?
Yeah, so we actually got a photo at the exit and then got into a car back to our hotel.
Yeah.
And by the time we got out of the car at our hotel, we could hear the sirens happening.
Whoa.
And we realised it was the site where we'd essentially just left.
Gee.
Oh, that is the closest we've had so far.
Is that one of those ones where your family know you're there, so you're getting calls from people going, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like when you're that close.
Yeah, like we just messaged our family, and we had friends over there saying, "Oh, we're just going to the market. We'll see you later." It's just
That's horrifying.
really close.
Scary stuff, Belle.
Well, thanks for the call, Belle. Martin in Melton. How close were you to a disaster?
Yeah, how you going, guys? Just got to start by saying, loving the new show. You guys are crushing it.
Oh, thanks, Martin. And we're loving your voice. Keep going.
Thanks, mate. So have you guys heard of the Granville train disaster?
Oh, I think I've heard of it. I mean, didn't like 80 odd people pass in that one?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So anyhow, me and my mum were supposed to be going into the city, and anyhow, we left the house. For some reason, we had to turn around and go back because the train station was, only a 5-minute walk from the house.
Yeah.
So mum had forgotten something, or I'd done something. We had to go back to the house. We tried running back to the station. We get to the station. We hear an announcement. We'd missed our train.
Yeah.
We hear an announcement. All trains are currently suspended. It's the train we should have been on.
Whoa.
And it came off the rails,
And
right?
it was the first 3 carriages that the deaths occurred in, and we always used to get on the first carriage.
And normally when you're missing a train, you're kicking yourself. You think it's the worst thing in the world. But, I mean, how about that for some perspective?
Bit of divine intervention, perhaps, Martin. That is a wild story. Thank you very much. I'm thoroughly enjoying these, so why don't we keep going?
Rachel, last call here in Brighton. You are with Ben, Liam and Belle on Nova. Tell us, how close were you to a disaster?
It was actually my dad. He was booked on MH370, the Malaysian Airlines flight, and he swapped his flight details with his Perth work colleague.
No, you're kidding me.
Oh, no. So
It was so hectic.
And so does that mean that the colleague was on that flight?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
The man from Perth, and you see his wife on 60 Minutes all the time. And
Oh, Rachel, that must be. I mean, I know, like, a lot of these have been near misses, but that must be tough for your dad as well. Like, obviously.
he's actually been traumatised. He's actually never gone back to his Malaysian job that he was working in the mines.
Yeah.
That was his last stint. He's never flown back there. So,
I mean, what are the? I mean, especially because I don't think I've ever swapped a flight with anyone. No. That's such a rare occurrence. Normally it's like, it's just easier, even with work things. Like if your name's on it, it's just your flight.
What a big one to end it on.
I mean, I don't think we're getting any closer than that.
Liam and Belle, you both know I'm not the most sociable person in the world.
I mean, that's putting it pretty lightly, Ben. I mean, I'm pretty sure you like me, and it's still you're still very antisocial. I mean, after work, Ben's very hard to get a hold of, especially on the weekends. I don't know what you do the whole time. You just sort of play games, hang around home.
Yeah, I would say I'm a very introverted person, so being around people tires me out. So I like my own time.
He likes looking after his lawn and that sort of thing. Whereas I'm an extrovert. I'm out pretty much the whole time, and if I'm alone, God forbid.
I just put a big order in on Lawn Hub. It's the website I get all my lawn supplies.
Is there actually a website called that?
Yeah.
That's great.
But look, I want to know if I've crossed the line or not, okay? So let me explain the situation. Last year, my poppy passed away, very sadly, and this is on my mum's side of the family. So what they did was they made like a family group chat with all the uncles and aunties and cousins. There's a lot of them. Everyone joined this big group chat, and they said, hey, let's all put our photos and memories of Poppy in this thread.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful as well, because obviously you've got a sad thing, and then because of that event, it's brought the family closer together as a whole. That's nice. Go on, Ben.
Yeah, so initially for the first week, I was genuinely enjoying seeing all the photos of Poppy, a lot of photos I hadn't seen before. And then after the funeral, people kind of just kept communicating in there. And then the name changed to like the family chat. And then I started being really angry that I was still in this thread. And so let's fast forward now 6 months. I did leave the family chat.
Left your family chat.
Well, they were just like chatting in there. You know what I mean? Like, they were just
Well,
like,
that's what you tend to do in a family chat.
You've basically done the digital version of just leaving your family.
Yeah, I've basically like essentially at the Christmas party, at the Christmas like family,
Yeah.
I've gone up and left. Like, I've
Which
left
you
the
do
group
that.
lunch.
You know that they would all, when you leave a group chat, it says Ben Harvey has left.
Yeah. Well, my sister is in it as well, and she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you've done that."
I've got a family chat as well, and it's like, we're talking 20 people because it's relatives overseas as well. I've never even met some of these people, but
So
I'm
why
still
do
in mine.
You don't need to be in that. You know what I mean?
I'm in all sorts of. I'm in a group chat from a gym I went to like 2 years ago. I'm
Why?
I don't know. I think it's rude to leave sometimes. You're a part of that for a part of your life. And
I hate that in society now we have these group chats. I hate that everyone wants you to be in their conversation that you don't need to be in.
now that I mention it, you have been pretty quiet on some of my group chats lately. And,
Yeah, 'cause I don't look at
I
them.
put funny
That's-
TikToks and that sort of stuff.
We've
in
got our group chat for our team.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's multiple times. Most of the time, you'll see Ben, his little thing will move, and you'll see he's read the message, and there just won't be a
Do you know
reply.
what we
I'm
should
like,
do?
well,
We should get everyone to start adding Ben into their group chats.
No, don't do that.
Like, as in, so like if you,
what, as punishment?
yeah. Well, I suppose if there's so many group chats, you won't be able to keep up with all the. You know what I mean? Like if you're listening right now in Melbourne, you've got like a social like mixed netball team or something like that, or just like with some of your colleagues, or like there's a sweepstake.
No, I don't want to be in
Find-
Gary
type
from
in-
accounts.
Type in Ben Harvey on Facebook. It's like a photo of him holding a microphone. It's like grayscale from memory. And just
Artistic.
add Ben on Facebook and add him into your group chat.
Can people do that?
But
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
would you, we can guarantee you won't say anything, but would be great. Could you bring us all the goss tomorrow then on the show? I mean, tell us what Gary is up to.
I'll put Ben's Facebook on the Ben Lehman Belle Instagram story, so you know you've got the right account. Just add him. Just go nuts. Add him into every group chat you've got. I was in the kitchen making my breakfast after the show yesterday, and I bumped into Claire from recruitment. Lovely lady. She was making a coffee, and an hour later, I was filling up my drink bottle. Claire was making another coffee, and as I was leaving, she was making her third coffee, and I said, "What's the go here, Claire? I think you need to lay off the bean." And
not up to
Lay off
you.
that bean.
Claire, I mean, I think you got a problem. And she proceeded to tell me that it was actually her fourth coffee for the day because, get this, she has a coffee pod machine on her bedside table.
No.
So the first thing she does when she wakes up in the morning, she rolls over and makes coffee straight away.
That's incredible.
And she says sometimes it annoys her, obviously, it annoys her husband because he wakes up to like
Yeah.
this, the
pod
the
machine-
peaceful sounds of
yeah.
a coffee machine.
The pod machine isn't a nice sound.
No. It's not like even like the birds,
Yeah.
tweeting softly in the background. It's not a pleasant way to wake up. But imagine being so hooked on the bean that the first thing you need in your system is caffeine. Boom, straight away before your feet have even touched the floor off of your bed.
Well, I mean, she might actually have this one, but there are like alarm clocks, and then as it beeps and wakes you up, it starts making a coffee
No way.
as well. Yeah.
That's
Belle,
not
that's
a
only for
thing.
rich people.
I've not heard
I
of that.
don't have one. I'm just saying that I know they exist.
I know that, some people, they've got systems so that they lay the bacon out in the pan, and so at a certain time,
Are you
like
for
at
real?
7 a.m., the pan turns on. So
missing
then they
out.
No, it
wake.
doesn't.
So then
You're-
they wake. No, that's the thing. And then they
No,
wake
it
up.
doesn't.
It is, and they wake up to the smell of bacon cooking.
That's not true.
Or their house on fire. One of the two. Yeah, I'd like one of these fancy alarm clocks that makes you a soft omelette to wake up. No, but that is wild. I mean, for me, we wake up at like 3:50 in the morning to do this job. I could easily go without a coffee. I do one if there's a coffee run, so I might have one a day max. But
Yeah.
that's absolutely it for me. Ben, I know you're on a few more.
Yeah, see, I'm down to 2. I used to be 3 though, and that was when I was like, it's becoming a bit of a problem. I was
Starting
having
getting
3.
the shakes, yeah.
So I've got it down now to having 2 coffees a day. So I'm pretty happy with that. Belle, I reckon you're on the same
I'm
wicket.
the same. I'm between you guys, so it's 1 usually, and then if there's another one getting bought or being made, I'll jump in.
Once you're hooked on the bean though, you're hooked on the bean.
Yeah, and look, Melbourne's a big coffee town. There's probably a few people listening for chump numbers. Coffee addict confessions. If you're having a few more than you should, if you're one of these people that maybe has the coffee machine on your bedside table or on your desk, 13 24 10, we want to hear from you. Are you Melbourne's biggest coffee addict?
Coffee addict confessions.
Yeah, lovely lady in the office is on 4 coffees a day. The crazy bit is, though, she has a pod machine on her bedside table. So she wakes up, she's making a coffee. That's the very first thing she does every day without fail. I feel like you've got a problem at that point, you know? But
Absolutely.
Melbourne is a big coffee town, and people love it. They can't get enough of it, Belle.
Well, Liam, you said that you have 1 a day. Ben, you might have 2. I go between 1 to 2.
Anna joins us now in Garfield. Good morning, Anna. Coffee addict confessions. What do you want to confess to?
7 a day.
7 a day.
You should be on the patches. You should have the caffeine patches on your arm to try and cut down a little bit.
Anna, what time's the last one of the day?
Right before I go to bed.
No.
No.
That's the whole point, right? I mean, you're supposed to be having coffee to be more alert and wake yourself up. Are you one of those people when at restaurants, you know, you have a nice meal and the waiter comes around at the end and they ask coffees? Like, are you for real? Like, it's like 9 p.m. on a Friday. Like, why would I want a coffee right now? Are you one of those people who goes, oh, yes, please, I wouldn't mind a little coffee just to wash down that steak?
Absolutely. I have to have a coffee after every meal. And I'll even go to a bar and order a latte.
Whoa. So are you addicted to it, or do you just love the taste of it? I mean, I guess it's addiction as well, but like, do you realise it's a lot of coffee?
I have 5 sons, so I need it.
Yeah, no, that's probably fair. David joins us now. Do you think you're even bigger on the coffee addiction?
Well, I've actually got the shakes now. I have to have a coffee every morning. I get up, I have an instant coffee. The quality's not the concern, it's the amount. So then I go to work, I set myself up with a plunger of decent coffee and have that, at least 8 to 10 cups of that.
Yeah. Oh,
and when I get home, I have to go, like the last lady, I have to have a coffee before I go to bed. The smell of
That's
coffee
when you know you're addicted to coffee when you need it to go to bed.
and it's the smell. It's just the whole thing about coffee. Just my wife drinks tea and it puts me off. I don't know how people can drink
I mean,
tea.
David, this might be offensive, but do you drink decaf?
No, please. Come on.
What a dumb question,
There's no
Belle.
such thing as decaf.
Belle, Liam, everything you know and love about the school canteen is coming to an end. One Australian school has taken healthy eating to a whole new level and got rid of the sausage rolls and replaced them with acai bowls.
Are you for real?
Really?
That is
Do
disgusting.
you know what? I've never even eaten an acai bowl. I've had a lot of rat coffins, though. I've had my fair share of sausage rolls.
I hate that you call them that. Rat coffin.
I remember hot chips and gravy.
You had hot chips and gravy.
We had hot chips and gravy, and you would line up, and they didn't do them at recess, they only did them at lunch, and you'd line up for a long time to get those hot chips in that salty gravy.
You know what? And maybe this is a little fancy. We used to have meatball subs.
Ooh.
So it was like the hot dog bun, like steamed. So it was kind of always a bit wet.
Yep.
But then they'd just put like big meatballs in there.
Yeah.
You normally get 4 meatballs and a long dog.
That's pretty good.
That's got no nutritional value.
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
It tasted good.
Yeah.
And, you know, I still got through school all right.
I loved when you would do your lunch order and you would get a pizza and it was literally a bit of cardboard. with
Yeah.
Some red sauce on top.
Yeah.
Stop saying yeah, Belle, because Ben and I went to school in Adelaide and you went to some ritzy school in Melbourne. And I'm pretty sure you didn't have a canteen.
Yeah, we had the Star Cafe.
It's called a cafe. You had a cafe.
Because the school's emblem was a star, so it was called the Star Cafe.
The fact that your school had a cafe and not a canteen is ridiculous.
I bet you had employees too. Did you have employees at yours?
Yes.
They weren't volunteers?
No.
We just
they
had-
were,
we just
they
had-
were the kitchen staff.
We had different mums pulling shifts.
Yeah, we had Sue at the front counter
Yeah,
who hated kids.
No, we also had Sue. We had a lady called Sue.
Yeah.
Sue was like the main one, and then it was just like, you know, all these different mums and grandmas,
Yeah.
and they'd just, you know, they'd sling out the pies to all the
Yeah.
kids at lunch and recess. I mean, what's a standard order at your school, Belle?
I think the fattiest one was probably our nachos. That was nice. I loved the nachos. They came with guac and sour cream. And we had baguettes and we had sushi and
You had
sushi?
Yeah. Yeah.
You had sushi at your school.
It's just such different
Because
worlds.
it's nutritional. And then we had
I think I moved out of home the first time I had sushi.
It was like a canteen. Like, did you have like checkouts? Or like, was it like a...
What do you mean?
So like you'd go in at one end and you'd go in and like order what you want and then you'd like go to the checkout and there was like a...
Hang on,
there
so
was, like,
it was
staff
almost
working
like
at the
if you were going to the MCG and they've kind of got that cut out and you can pick what you want
It's
and
like
there's
going
a
to
checkout.
Coles, kind of.
Oh, you actually went to like a counter, like check out.
Yeah.
No, you see, what happened was you'd give the $2 to Sue, and then she would throw a pie at your head.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
Yeah, we had the lunch monitor. So you write it in pencil on the bag, and then they take it out in the box, and the magic box comes back with all the lunch orders in it.
Did you have lunch orders? Surely.
In primary school.
Oh, sorry, but not in high school.
Oh no, in high school we're eating sushi.
What happened on the plane? If you witnessed something good, bad, chaotic, give us a buzz. There is a woman that got escorted by the police off a flight to Melbourne from the Gold Coast because she was so drunk. She delayed the plane for an hour on the tarmac, and then finally the police came on, took her off. This is everyone's reaction in the plane. So everyone's chanting as she's being taken off the plane. The fine for being drunk and disorderly on a plane, do you know what it is?
No, I'm curious.
What do you think?
So you've been escorted off a plane.
Yeah.
I'd say probably $1,000.
I mean, especially once the police are called and you've delayed it, you know, there's obviously there's a flow-on effect. I think $5,000.
$13,000.
What?
Gee whiz!
If you order too many shardies at the bar before you get on the plane, $13,000 it could cost you.
Man.
Well, just the other week, I was flying I've got my boyfriend in Adelaide, so I'm doing long distance. I was flying from Adelaide to Melbourne, and we had to wait on the tarmac at the end of the flight when we landed in Melbourne because they said over the speaker, they said, can everybody please remain seated? We will be disembarking soon, but there's somebody who needs urgent medical attention. And so everyone was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? What's going on? And they said the paramedics are coming on, the police are coming on, and everybody just sat quietly. Yeah. It was really nice. Sat quietly, waited, and this poor woman was just really, really, apparently like quite old and was really sick the whole flight. And I could tell something was going on because through the flight there was a few flight attendants, whispering at the front and they're walking and trying to keep a straight face.
So what did they do? They took her off the plane
They
and then...
got her on a stretcher and wheeled her through this little thin stretcher, wheeled it down the aisle,
Did they send her down the slide?
No, unfortunately no slide was used. And then once she was off, then they said, right, we just got to wait till she's all good and, cleared out of the airport and stuff, and then we can go.
Wow.
So we were sitting there, but everyone was really lovely. No one complained. Everyone just sat patiently.
No one did the thing where they stood up as soon as the wheels, hit the tarmac.
I ain't moving.
Sorry, lady.
Sam in Werribee joins us now. Good morning, Sam. What happened on the plane?
Morning. It was an international flight, and this actually sounds really bad, but we were down the back, and as soon as we walked into this area that we were in, we just got hit by a wall of really bad BO. It was this one lady, and everyone around was looking at each other being like, oh my God, what do we do?
Yeah.
And the actual flight attendant had to walk up and down the aisle spraying whilst the lady was still there, and I don't know if you noticed, and it was just so embarrassing, and it was awful. The whole flight, it was like a 14-hour flight.
And you're just stuck hoofing in the BO.
Isn't there something about airplanes that aircon does take out all the fart smells and everything? So that must have been pretty bad if even that couldn't filter it out. What happened on the plane? Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. There is a woman who was escorted off the flight to Melbourne from Gold Coast for just being too drunk.
Yeah, the crowd really got involved when they were escorting her off of the plane.
$13,000 fine for being too blind. Laura joins us now. What happened on the plane?
Oh, hi. I went to Launceston for the weekend. Monday night, we were at Launceston Airport, just waiting. Our plane landed. There was 3 planes there, and they said, look, there's not enough stairs, We're going to have to wait for one of the other planes to go before the people can get off your plane and you can board. So, we had to sit and wait for about half an hour. But I appreciated the honesty. If they just said, technical problem, I'd have thought maybe there's something wrong with the plane. But, we had to wait for more stairs.
That's when you want to use the emergency slide.
Yeah.
You can't use the stairs to
Well,
get
they
out.
should, yeah, I
Everyone
mean,
slide down.
If it's there, why not inflate it every now and then? Especially if
it
it's
costs like $50,000 each.
well, it's
That's
the service
not
you pay
even
for.
that wild, Laura. We had one the other day. Liam, do you remember we were on the plane and we couldn't get off?
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, sorry, the air bridge isn't working,
No.
which connects the plane to the to the building." And then they said, "We got to get an engineer to fix it." So then we had to wait for the engineer. And then after about 15 minutes, they buzzed through and said, "Oh, we're really sorry. The engineer finishes at 5:30." And so the night engineer hasn't started yet. So we're waiting for the other engineer to get here. So we all had to sit on the plane for half an
Sitting in
hour.
the lunchroom just having a sandwich and waiting.
He's got to finish his smoko before you guys can get off the plane. Valerie in Ringwood East, what happened on the plane?
Hey guys, good morning. It was actually a friend of mine, and it happened in South Africa. So he was on a flight back from Namibia, and then they had to stop the plane in emergency landing because he'd had an asthma attack on the plane. And there was a doctor on the plane, and they were like, "Oh, we have to make an emergency landing now." So they had to stop at just a random little state in the middle of nowhere. And then he just texted me and he was like, I'm in the state. So, all of the people on that plane didn't really get to their destinations in time because a friend of mine had an asthma attack and had an emergency landing.
I mean, if he was going to die, that'd be pretty rude to be like, well, I'm missing my business meeting.
Yeah, but as soon as you hear the words emergency landing,
Well,
oh
that's
my
true.
goodness.
Yeah, there would be a tension in the air, that's for sure.
Nick joins us now. Good morning, Nick. What happened on the plane?
Oh, hey, how you going?
Not bad.
We were flying from Townsville late last year back to Melbourne, and by the time we got up in the air and they were serving drinks without us realising, they'd actually refused a lady to serve her any drinks because she'd actually got on the flight already under the influence. And she started kicking off and was threatening the staff and all sorts of commotion going on. We ended up hearing over the overhead that if the commotion hadn't ceased, we'd be having to land in Brisbane, which obviously everyone was pretty unhappy about. Without us actually realising they'd started circling anyway because she was, she'd gone down to the bathroom, they were trying to get her to sit down, all sorts of things. So they'd actually started circling, dumping fuel and whatnot, and we ended up landing in Brisbane, sitting on the tarmac for 2 odd hours while they got the police to come in and take her off, and they had to refuel and before we could leave again and head back to Melbourne. I think we got in about 3 hours late at the end.
That's the worst. And we hear about these air marshals. I think they're a myth. Are they only in America?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Jetstar don't have them, but why don't we have someone who can just zip tie the drunk chick and then just keep her at the back, and then everyone can get where they want to go on time, and then she can get arrested on the other end?
Woman, is it?
I want Liam Neeson on my plane arresting people. That's what I really want.
We're asking the question this morning, what happened on the plane after a woman on a flight from the Gold Coast to Melbourne was evicted for being too drunk? $13,000 that's going to cost you if you get evicted off the flight for being drunk and disorderly. Lisa in Geelong, what happened on your flight?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, so quite a few years ago now, I was on a flight back from Athens, and we had just taken off, and I was pretty much just about to fall asleep, and I had a tap on the shoulder from one of the hosts, which had delivered me a cake in a box. So not just a piece of cake, but a whole cake.
Yeah.
Box. And I was, super confused. And they said, it had my seat number written on it, and they said, this is a request for you, along with a bottle of champagne. I wasn't celebrating any kind of occasion, but they said someone on the flight has requested that we give this to you.
That's so creepy.
I know, it actually was. And then they had a Polaroid camera and took a photo of me and gave a little shake and said, this is for you to take home so you can remember.
That's weird.
Journey. It was so random.
The staff, the air staff, the air hostess took a photo of you with a Polaroid camera and then gave you a photo of you.
That's so random. And then about, halfway through the flight, I actually went up to them and I said, guys, I'm just so confused by this whole thing. Was it someone back at home or it's someone on the plane. They're like, look, we can't tell you. It's just
we can't.
It's
a
secret.
Ridiculous.
That's a little secret that we. Like, do you reckon
I've
that's just-
never ever heard of it before. I'm like,
That's so weird.
Did you eat the cake?
I did.
Ooh, you're
Oh,
still
I
alive.
would not have eaten that
I
cake.
suppose you had 7 to 8 hours.
I love
you
that
know.
So,
you
hang
went
on.
up to the staff and went, guys, I'm genuinely a bit worried about my safety. I feel uncomfortable. And they've gone, it's our little secret.
But I didn't know you could. Can you order it? Do planes just have cakes? Like,
I don't
ready to
know.
go? Can
Yeah,
you
normally
order
the best
things
you
for
can get
other
is a
seats?
toasty.
So can you just go, I want to order a champagne and give it to, 34B? That's
Oh,
so weird.
It's a weird story,
maybe
Lisa.
if you've been, an airline worker for long enough, and you got to start thinking of ways to make it more exciting for you because all the flights start blending into one.
Adrian joins us now. Good morning. What happened on your flight?
Morning, guys. So this was actually yesterday morning from Bangkok to Melbourne. So we were delayed an hour straight off the bat, and then we finally got on the plane, heading to Melbourne. We were an hour past Singapore, and then we had to turn around emergency landing back to Singapore because apparently the passenger was very unwell, so she had to get stretchered from the back of the plane to the front exit, past everyone, and then they finally had to find her bag and refuel. So we were stopped in Singapore and we're all stuck on the plane, sitting down on the plane for an extra 2 hours, and then we finally took off again, and we arrived back in Melbourne at 4 a.m. yesterday morning. So,
Adrian,
it was
so
a long one.
Are you a decent enough human where you're like, oh, I'm just glad the woman's okay, or are you're a bit disgruntled by the whole thing?
It was a bit of both, but yeah, you just hope she's okay. But yeah, we didn't even get to find out. So yeah,
We want them to call everybody individually.
Just
She's
so you know,
okay.
the woman in 18B, she didn't make it. Thank you for flying Singapore Airlines.
I bet you wish you had a cake and some champagne for that 2-hour wait as well.
Yeah.
You've probably driven past 3 or 4 Maccas already. It's a way of life. Everyone loves Maccas. Most people love Maccas. And they've added 4 new items to the menu. Now, the 2 burgers seem pretty similar to what they've already got on the menu. There's a new flavour of thick shake. But the thing that's got everyone talking is the potato cakes. Now, for 2 reasons, we're talking about it this morning. The first one is because people call them different things in different states. So in Sydney, they call it a scallop, potato scallop. In, say, South Australia, they call it a potato fritter. But in Victoria here, we call it a potato cake. Now, Liam, you have said this morning, the second reason this is controversial is because you said, isn't that just a hash brown?
I would have thought it's just a hash brown. Like when everyone was like losing their minds yesterday, I saw a few people online being like, you heard, they got the potato cakes. I'm like, yeah, but like a hash brown, it's like it. For me, it's squished potato with a bit of crumbs on it.
And then Belle and I said earlier in the show this morning, the only person that would ever say isn't a potato cake just like a hash brown, someone that's never eaten one before. And then you said, yeah, growing up, you never had potato
I
cakes.
just don't. It's come to my attention that I probably never had one. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Well, it's not like pizza. You know what I mean?
It's not though. It's like fish
Is
and
it?
chips. You get potato cakes and they come in the same bit as the chips
Yep.
and everything. Oh, so good. Sometimes the crumbs fall off into the chips. Great.
So here's the thing. Belle and I, we've already eaten ours. They tasted pretty good, I thought. I like that they give you a little chicken salt sachet, and then you can put as little or as much chicken salt on there as you like.
And if you didn't know, just kind of a little fun fact, chicken salt invented in Australia. And we spoke to the guy.
We did.
That invented chicken salt.
If you want to go find that podcast, it exists online.
Might have to do some digging.
Just something you can take with you for today.
That's it.
After your initial thoughts, Liam, you've looked at it now. Does it look how you thought it would look?
Yeah, it looks like a hash brown.
It doesn't look like a hash brown.
I don't know.
round.
I'm just going to pour some of this in here.
All right, Liam is sprinkling his salt in.
I think I actually poured too much. I think, is it like a whole packet?
I put the whole packet in.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then give it a shake.
Yeah, what do you...
Is this do you normally shake it around?
Yeah, because you want to get the salt
I get
evenly
you.
dispersed, don't you?
Yeah, right. So this is...
Oh, okay, straight into it.
Liam has taken a bite of the...
First ever potato cake
yeah.
in his life.
That's actually sick.
Yeah, you like it? Yeah.
It's not like a hash brown at all, is it?
No, it's not. It's like I said, it's like condensed.
It's more dense.
It's like a
Yes.
dense cake.
Yes.
Hence potato cake.
Oh no! What have you started? I'm already flabby enough. I don't need another thing to be addicted to. Let's find out what's trending.
What's trending?
Trending all over the internet.
Twitter. Instagram.
Welcome to Facebook.
Well, if you're planning on heading to the tennis, be careful what you say there because you could get kicked out very easily. There's a new rule that's been put in place, especially if you're going to a game with Djokovic playing. If anybody is caught heckling or saying, anything negative about him, they'll be straight out, kicked out straight away.
If you knew you were getting kicked out for it, you'd want to make it count, wouldn't you? You'd want to make it a real zinger.
We should open up the phone lines. If you can't heckle him at the tennis, you can heckle him on our show.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, if you've got one and you're like, but I've paid a lot of money for those tickets, feel free to text in 0400 919 919.
And we're one step closer to using our phones to pay on trams and trains. The Mikey contract is ending this November. It will have been 10 years that it's been running here in Melbourne. And then from there, it's looking like we actually might be using phones and cards to pay.
So much easier. And look, I hate to say it, but Sydney is already doing it. So why don't we leapfrog them and revolutionise the way we do things? Why don't we adopt the toll system? If we can all get one of those e-tags that we can clip onto our belt or something like that, then you don't even have to worry about tapping on or tapping off because it'll just track where you've been and charge you. Do you know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say, let's all get chips in our heads.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the government would be pretty happy with that if that was the solution. So that is also a possibility.
And it looks like The Bachelor might not even make it to the end of the season. It premiered on Monday night. We were just saying yesterday, we're not super big fans, but it actually only premiered with 300,000 people watching. Now, it sounds like a bit of a big number, but it's tiny. In TV world, that's tiny. Less than 100,000 people in Melbourne watched it, and it was the lowest premiere in franchise history. It actually got overtaken by this show. A replay of RBT beat The Bachelor.
I mean,
premiere.
that show's got legs, though. I mean, I think in the TV game, it's all about, hooking them over the ads. What's going to make you watch? And when you see those numbers clocking up, you're not turning that off. Could you know what? I reckon The Bachelor, they should take a leaf out of their book. Like maybe in season 11, the Batch is just blind the whole time. You know what I mean?
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.